Here we're going to have a phrase by Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yossi. And Rabbi Shmuel is going to give us a perspective on the motivation that one has, perhaps, to learn Torah. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Omer, Rabbi Shmuel, his son, says, "Halomed al menat lelamed." Someone who learns Torah in order to teach, the reaction to that, to someone whose motivation to learn Torah is simply to teach, he is misapkin beyado lilmod ulelamed. He's given the opportunity from heaven to learn and teach. Halomed al menat lasot. Then you have someone who learns for a different purpose. He learns in order so that he can do, so that he can perform mitzvot, so that he can perform commandments. That's the reason he learns. To that person, misapkin biado, he's given the opportunity, lilmod ulelamed, to learn and to teach, lishmo velasot, to observe and to do. So let's analyze what are exactly these two kinds of people, what are their motivations, and the reward, if you will, that's given to these people. Halomed al menat lelamed, someone who learns in order to teach. There's actually two different translations or explanations of this. One is to the positive and the other one's to the negative. The positive translation is that the reason you learn Torah is so that you can share it with other people. As a result, your reward is you're given the opportunity, lilmod ulelamed, that your learning will be a successful learning, that you will retain the information, and you will be given the opportunity to teach other people. Because if your whole purpose to learning Torah is not from a selfish perspective, rather you want to share the knowledge of Torah, so you are rewarded twofold. One is that your actual individual learning will be successful, because it's necessary for you to obviously retain the information, to get clarity on the information of Torah, and lelamed, you will have the opportunity to teach other people. That's the positive explanation of this. There's a negative explanation of this given by the Kesef Mishna on the Rambam, who says that it's talking about someone who only learns Torah for one purpose, to teach others. In other words, so that he can get honor from them, so that he could be the teacher and have students and have people who come to listen to him and ask him questions and make him feel important. So as a result of that, he actually has a different version of this Mishnah, which is en misapkim miyado lilmod lelamed. The reaction to that is that they don't give him the opportunity neither to learn nor to teach, because the whole reason you're trying to learn Torah is lo lishma. It's not for good purposes, but rather for ulterior motives, for honor and things of that sort. The reaction to that is en misapkim miyado. We don't give you the opportunity to do it. The second part of the Mishnah is talking about someone who's learning, but for the right reason. In other words, say for example, I don't know what to do regarding a specific question on Shabbat. So I go and I open up Shulchan Aruch to see what the halacha. So when I'm learning the halacha, I'm learning for one reason only, to know whether I can or cannot do that action on Shabbos. That kind of learning is the most pure learning, because you're learning so that you can perform the mitzvot, so that you can perform the commandments, so that you can refrain from performing transgressions, and so on and so forth. The reward to that is tremendous. Misapkim biyado, they provide him with the opportunity. He'll retain it for the purpose of doing mitzvot, who's genuinely learning Torah and performing the mitzvot of the Torah. He's worthy to teach other people, and therefore he's given the opportunity to teach other people. Lishmor velasot, of course he's given the opportunity to do mitzvot, because that's the whole reason why he's learning Torah, is to do mitzvot. But on top of that, lishmor, to preserve. What does to preserve mean? It means that God will watch over him and protect him from even accidentally transgressing or from opportunities of transgression. He will be given the opportunity, in addition to actively perform mitzvot, but to observe the Torah. In other words, to refrain from falling, from failing, from committing transgressions as well. He'll have that added protection, because the motivation of his learning is a pure motivation of the highest sort. Here we're going to have a phrase from Rabbi Tzadok, who essentially is going to be continuing on the theme of the last Mishnah and giving us a perspective on the acquisition of Torah, how it should be used and apply usage in this world. Rabbi Tzadok Omer, Al tifch Al ta'asem atara litgadel bahem, and don't make the Torah a crown to magnify yourself with, to make yourself loftier or more respected, or to gain honor in any sort of way. V'lo kardom lachpo bahem, and don't make Torah a spade with which you dig with. V'cha chaya Hillel omer, and this is what Hillel himself would say. U'de'ishtemesh b'taga chalaf, one who makes personal use of the crown of Torah, they're going to perish. Halimadita, and from here you learn. Kol ha'nehene midivrei Torah, anybody who benefits in this world from the words of Torah, notel chayav min ha'olam, he removes his life from the world. So what is this Mishnah coming to teach us? The first is al ta'asem atara litgadel bahem, not to make Torah a crown to magnify ourselves with. As the Gemara in Nedarim says, the reason you're learning Torah is out of love for God. It's not to gain honor. It shouldn't be for any ulterior motives in the process, and certainly not so that you can crown and glorify yourself. The next phrase, v'lo kardom lachfol bahem, and it shouldn't be a spade with which to dig. This is a phrase that refers to using Torah as something that's going to make you money, right? A spade to dig with. Like you're digging out a treasure, or you're using it to dig so that you can plant, fruits and vegetables. That's the origination of the phrase itself. And the Rambam on this, obviously, he's known for expanding tremendously on the importance of somebody who learns Torah, should learn Torah and not demand money on its behalf and be paid for it. Then he actually brings examples to back up his position. Say, for example, Hillel HaZaken. He used to chop wood to make a living. Even Hillel HaZaken, as great as he was, to make money, he would go and chop wood. And he was extremely poor. Similarly, Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, he was very poor, and we know that he used to eat boxer. He used to carob from a carob tree from Friday to Friday, from Erev Shabbos to Erev Shabbat, and was extremely poor and wasn't able to put anything else on his table. Lived off of carobs. Rabbi Yosef, for example, was a mover. He used to move heavy lumber from one place to another in order to make money. And as the Rambam says, surely if they simply would have asked or even accepted, many people would have loved to give them money. These were some of the greatest scholars at the time, respected and loved and honored by everyone. So as a result, the Rambam says, you see from this Mishnah, you see from these cases in the Talmud, that a person is absolutely not allowed to accept money for Torah, for the purpose of him learning Torah. The Kesef Mishnah famously responds to the Rambam, and he says, no, these cases are individualistic cases. These people, Hillel HaZaken, Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, and Rabbi Yosef, they did midat hasidut, they did over and beyond actions of piety. They didn't want to accept, that was their own personal calculation, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to do that. Certainly a person is able to accept money for the learning of Torah. It shouldn't be the reason that they learn Torah. The reason that they learn Torah shouldn't be so that they should make money, but for the purpose of learning Torah, one can get supported on some level for that purpose. And Hillel is quoted to having, to adding to these lessons, that if you use the crown of Torah for the purpose, say for example, that we mentioned before, of honor, of glorifying yourself, udishtamesh betaga chalav, right? It will be removed. What's going to be removed? So the explanation that's given is simple. The crown of Torah, the glory that comes with Torah, only remains if the reason you're learning Torah is for the purpose of Torah, for the purpose of loving God. Once you use it for anything else, that Torah suddenly becomes useless. That crown gets changed. The glory that one could have received from Torah, that you see, for example, in great people, you see it on their face, you can literally experience it on them, that gets removed immediately because people around you sense that the only reason you're learning Torah is so that you can be all pompous and honorable. And that in itself changes that crown. It removes that crown. And then it ends off with how lemadita, you learn kol hanehene midivrei Torah. If you reap benefits from Torah, whether monetarily or honor or any of these ulterior motives, notel chayav min haolam, It takes you away from this world. So one explanation could be to the extreme. In other words, this could cause you your death. In other words, it's very extreme to use Torah in this way. The Rambam explains, Notach Chayv min haolam means you're shortening your reward min haolam from the next world. Because when you use Torah and you learn Torah for the purpose of ulterior motives, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah bishlemuta. You're not fulfilling it in its complete way. And as a result, you are lessening the reward, the chayim, the life, the reward of life that you will receive in the next world.